Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Running the Bases. And we are here on a beautiful Thursday night, and that is not lowering the audio at all. So we're just going to turn off that way. But either way, we are here with another incredible edition of Running the Bases. And I am joined today by Ryan Polly and Spencer Shaw. Spencer, your first answer, how's it going?
Yeah, it's good to be back here, guys. I don't know why it took so long to get me over here. Just like one thing after
I
another.
don't blame you. I can only take graph on sports too.
Fair. I don't know why I can't. My own audio in my ear is not very loud, but I hear you guys very loud, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you can hear me.
I know, but like,
Well, we are the stars of the show.
Yeah.
well, can you hear me clearly in your ear?
Yeah, I can hear
What?
you.
Okay, that's
I
odd.
can hear you.
What?
That's
What?
okay.
I'm just really good at reading.
I don't
lips,
know.
actually.
Yeah.
I just don't know why. Is it did this last week too, and I was having the same problem.
Is our boy Devin in? Is he here?
I don't think so. Not yet. We don't have a viewer yet. I am gonna have to go without the headphones again, which is really devastating because I love hearing myself talk.
Sweet.
I just like the comfort of my ears.
Yeah, me too. But after about 2 minutes, I get used to it. So
We know you like to hear yourself talk, Michael.
Yes.
true. So
So
first,
does everybody in the bureau.
And your mirror.
and every wall in my house,
Oh, wait, hold on, we're forgetting the pillows. We can't forget the pillows.
everything, literally everything in my house, because I talk to
Your brother
myself.
told me that you have a
all
late
day.
pillow talk at night when you're alone with your pillow.
Ooh.
I just talk to everything in my house because I just talk to myself. I was actually having a conversation with myself
Now I
before.
know why your cats are never around. You talk to them too much. They were just done with you.
No, they actually are around. They just don't like being around people. They must think that you are gonna kill them. or something.
Well, I'm also allergic to cats, so they can't stay away.
Right, exactly. So
That's just a personal thing.
that's perfectly fine. So first off, shout out to I don't know, however many hundreds of people there are standing outside of Cronkite at the moment who are probably not paying attention to this show, but that are I don't know. There's like a bunch of people down there in the middle of the street. There's a bull riding thing going on.
It's all for Diwali, man.
I don't know. It said it was orange something. Don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, I saw that as I was driving by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know what it is.
I don't either. Very confused. I didn't bother to ask because I had my music on and I wasn't paying
Hey,
attention.
everybody down there, if you can hear me, I finally got my car back today.
Shout out to you.
I did not know I would miss my car so much.
It's when you drive a lot and then you don't get the chance to drive.
I will say this.
It's
The good thing is I saved about 900 miles in my car.
Yeah, that's
I drive
also
a
true.
lot.
Yeah, but then you also had to. Well, thankfully you had your friends to drive you around pretty much everywhere, which helps. Because
I had a rental car,
oh, you did. Oh,
had a rental
that's clutch.
so I did not
So
need people to drive me around.
That's very very clutch. But I'm very happy about that. That's great. I'm very happy for you. But yeah, so shout out to all the random people down there. If any of you are deciding to listen to this, then great, because this is a baseball podcast and we will be talking about baseball.
Baseball show.
All right. Yes, it's a baseball show.
We have upgraded.
I know we
How
have.
many times do we have to tell you this, Michael?
I know,
Upgraded.
but
Show.
we are always running the bases podcast. We always will be running the bases podcast.
I'll tell you this: I'll be running the bases when I hit a nuke in softball this year.
Oh yeah. You know what's sad? I can't even play softball because I won't even be a student. Not that I ever did.
You see, we actually had a spot on the team, but then we actually got a contract extension for one of our guys who was supposed to leave.
Contract extension.
We agreed to a great deal with Jack Wu. He's returning.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
I can't say our team name because it's not the most appropriate thing for on air,
Okay.
but we are going to win the ship this year. So
Nice.
cheer on our team. We're the best.
Well,
Exciting stuff.
I will not be cheering you on, but I will be hoping that you do well. Because in all honesty, I won't even know that it's happening. I never claimed I was a fan. But getting to baseball, it's a very big week in Major League
Speaking of
Baseball.
fake fans, the Yankees.
Well, okay, they're not
Uh-oh.
fake fans. They're just
No. We can't do Kayla and Egan like that.
oh god, that's what you were talking
I
about.
wasn't talking about that.
I was gonna
I was talking about the Yankee, Cowboy, Laker loving Yankee fans.
Oh yeah, of course. Well,
Okay, well, you just attacked Egan. Yankee Cowboy.
yes.
He doesn't like the Lakers. I saved myself with the Lakers.
He does not like the Lakers. He is a 76ers fan, which helps his case.
I do not understand why my water bottle decides to pour water everywhere. I think it's actually reached its point of no return because I've now tested it, and anytime I make it move, water comes out of it.
So has our podcast now not podcast. Jeez, now you're
Huh?
looking up on me.
That's a show.
It is a show, but now I see the impact you have on me.
That have an impact on other people.
And you know what? I think since we're going off on tangents, I need to shout out two people.
Okay.
Two people that helped me out a lot in my life, just by being around. I want to shout out Austin Ford, one of the most realistic Yankees fan I've ever met in my life, because he's actually realistic.
That's fair.
With what he says. He's not going to say, "Oh, Garrett Cole's best pitcher in the movie." He'll be honest, and I love that. So he's a great Yankees fan. Then Paul Schultz. He's like 6'4", tall guy, good guy. So shout out those two. I was with them earlier.
Oh, okay. My grandfather's a Yankees fan. He's actually very realistic about the Yankees. He told me going into the series that the Yankees were going to get clapped by the Astros, and he was correct. So while we're on the topic, it's postseason baseball, and we are now in World Series
You know,
territory.
I have something to say about the postseason. I'm going to say it now before I forget. I swear, if the Astros win Game 1, I'm going to lose my mind.
Why?
Because the Royals have a certain record, and
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
they were the first team ever to win they have the longest consecutive winning streak at the start of the playoffs, 2014, when they went to the wild card all the way to the World Series and went 8-0.
Yeah, they'd be tied.
And what to do?
Damn.
Beat them.
Yeah.
Beat them.
But now, what would you do if the
Well,
Astros won the first two games?
Oh, I'm going to curse their name to the high heavens. But you know what?
That's what the Astros.
I don't
love to be.
actively pray very often. I don't get on my knees and pray very often. But I've been doing that recently because I've had some things happen in my life. And one of those things is, please keep my only good thing about the Royals. Please, just keep it going for a little bit.
I mean, to be fair,
They
you did
can't
win the
take
World
away
Series. That's not
2015.
something you can take.
You know,
You will always have the upper hand over Garatha.
I know you do.
Oh, I won't.
Unless the
Yeah,
Mets
of
beat the
course.
Royals in a World Series again.
No, that's fine.
That would be really funny. But that would also require both the Mets and the Royals to make it to the World Series in the same year.
That's just impossible.
Yeah, and for the Royals, who the heck knows when that's going to happen again. But
I think it's, you know what? If you got me on a good day and gave me good odds, I would make a friendly wager with you that the Royals will make a World Series before the Mets.
that would,
Oh,
that would be a waste of it.
That's.
I said you have to give me really good odds.
I didn't make a wager, but I told my best friend that the Mets are going to make it to the World Series before the Yankees.
That's a bit more fair.
Yeah, that's a
That's
much
very
more.
fair.
That's
That's
a much
actually
more
very-
like that could go either way.
That's probably actually going to be what happens.
Well, I would agree.
Well,
I think
From
they're
an
just gonna win it all this
unbiased, like, couldn't care less standpoint, that's probably going to happen. Because Judge is going to go to Cali.
no, not the
He's
Judge.
swapping
year. No,
sides.
Judge is just
Oh,
swapping
totally is.
Where would he
swapping stadiums in New York.
No, God, stop.
Even
man.
no, I don't think he's coming back to the Yankees.
If he doesn't re-sign with the Yankees, he's signing with the Mets, and if he doesn't sign with the Mets, he's going back to the Yankees. It's
Or
plain
he's
and
going to
simple.
San Francisco.
No.
Honestly,
They
Or the
don't-
there's a dark
Dodgers,
horse.
man.
There's a dark horse.
the Cardinals.
No,
Baltimore Orioles.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
I think they are a dark horse. Judge.
Agree.
But they do have to prioritize getting Bogarts and Devers signed.
And I don't think they're gonna. I think with the money they're gonna tie up in those two, I don't think they're gonna be able to afford it. Honestly, I really don't. Which is a shame because that Red Sox team with Aaron Judge, I would just laugh at the
Wait,
amount of
hold on.
home runs.
What
that
if
he
the
would hit.
What if the Angels go all in, put all their chips in one basket, get Judge, have Shohei Ohtani, Trout, and Judge?
You know
that
what?
offense would probably hit 350 homers.
If that happens,
Uh,
I will buy
Wow.
you and me an Aaron Judge Angels shirt.
could I get one too on that?
Well,
Shake
you
my
didn't.
hand.
You didn't make the.
I would like well statement,
Okay, folks, we have just shook hands. I will get another free shirt.
and I will get one as well.
I didn't agree to that. Ryan and I have done this before.
I don't
so.
think this is
We-
going to
we've
happen.
done a lot of-
No,
we've
it's
done a
not.
lot
I
of
don't think
things
this is
like
going
this.
to
We have.
happen. That's
Um,
the key thing.
But
Well,
no,
like Egan said last year that if Michael Conforto signed with the Guardians, I told him if he signs with the Guardians, I'll get him a Michael Conforto Guardians jersey. He didn't sign with anyone.
I think the whole thing with Judge is interesting because I think there's 4 teams realistically.
Yeah.
It's the Giants because he's from Linden, California.
And they have the
there's that
money,
connection,
too.
and they have so.
I just don't think they need him at the point that they're at because
If
I don't
they
think they're
wanna
going to
get back the
contend for a
playoffs,
few years.
They need to start spending money.
I agree, but I
Because
just
they have a
don't.
lot of it. Then the Red Sox, Yankees,
Oh, Devin's here.
and Mets. But now we don't.
Closer.
I agree. Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Giants. I also think the Cardinals could be a sleeper in that too. I think the Cardinals are.
No,
I think there is some truth
No.
to the report today about the Dodgers, man. I wouldn't
No.
put it past them.
I
They're,
don't-
they're
I
going to
just
give them
don't-
some weird deal, but
Yeah, but they say that they're in on every single free agent. But the problem is,
They
I don't
have
think.
let's
been.
be realistic.
and they have been
I
doing
don't want to
that.
talk about the Dodgers just yet because it would not shock me because they do so much.
No, of course not.
But here's what I want to talk about when it comes to the Cardinals. The Cardinals' issue is not the offense. They need to go get pitching.
No, yeah, absolutely.
If I'm the Cardinals, no to Judge. Give me Rodon.
But the thing is, the
Sign him with
pitching,
3 year
the
deal.
pitching for agent market this winter is really bad.
Rodon.
Yeah, I know, but there's going to be
See-
29 other teams that need it.
Here's the thing. They have other guys to complement him, but I say go with Rodon.
Rodon's going to get paid this winter. He is going to get
He
so much
He
money.
should.
Yeah, he should. But the contract that he signed in San Francisco was really, really generous for the Giants.
That's fair.
He is a huge contract because he's the best pitcher on the market. And this is a really, really weak, and it's going to be a weak free agent class of pitchers for the next 2-3 years. So for him,
Well, it's not weak when James Brown is going to sign with the Braves.
that's
Yeah, actually, that's right. There is some.
there is Jacob deGrom out there, but Jacob deGrom, you also have to keep in mind, Carlos Rodon is that achievable pitcher for everybody, where Jacob deGrom can only sign somewhere that has
You know what?
all the money.
No. I'm saying it right here, right now. Jacob deGrom to the Kansas City Royals.
If that happens, I will buy you a Jacob deGrom jersey,
Oh, I hope
Oh, hold on.
that
A real one?
a real one.
Shake my hand.
I will.
It's not going to happen, but
Exactly. I will buy you a Jacob deGrom
Seriously,
Royals jersey.
When I don't just say Jacob deGrom and the Braves to mess with you.
No, I
actually
know,
think
it's-
I think it's a possibility.
It is definitely a possibility. I would not be
Peter,
shocked.
I'm
Oh, I mean,
sorry.
I would be devastated, but I wouldn't be shocked.
I think it could easily happen. They're so good with money and locking up their guys young. They just signed Michael Harris and Spencer Strider to team-friendly deals,
Yes.
especially if they keep on the trajectory that they're at. I don't think we're going to see anything weird with
Devin
And
just
the-
said Jacob deGrom to the Giants.
And the appeal also
You know what?
is
That
that's-
wouldn't shock me.
That wouldn't shock me either. Man.
That could be the one big spending move that they make.
They want to compete again. I don't think they're going to let themselves look as bad as they did.
If
this
they're gonna,
year.
if they need a starting pitcher, they're gonna bring Rodon back. That's plain and simple, because he was already there, and then just give him more money. Because Jacob deGrom is gonna sign a $50 million a year contract, no matter what.
I'm going to be honest. I would not give DeGrom that much for one
I agree.
reason. It's not because of the talent.
It's
It's
the
because of the
injury.
health.
Yeah.
Well, it might be incentive based, but I'm sure it
Okay,
will
you know what?
equal the same amount.
Actually, if they do
of
that,
50
if it is
million.
this incentive based to get to that $50 million,
Yeah, that's great.
I would do that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm not going to give him straight $50 million a year because I'm worried about the injury history.
But you also have to keep in mind, there's probably only one team in baseball that's willing to do that, and that's the Mets. No,
Or the Dodgers.
I disagree.
There's
I don't
no
think
teams
anyone's-
that do
I don't.
There's
But
multiple teams.
I don't
because
think
of his
I'm-
injury history, there are going to be so many teams that are going to say, "We're going to give you more than 30 a year," because we don't know what we're getting with you. But with the Mets, they'd be fine doing that because they just want to keep it. That's where I think the Mets are going to be able to outpay everyone, just like what they did with Max Scherzer.
You know,
No one wanted to give Max Scherzer more than 33 million a year, and the Mets like, "Here's 43. Come play with us."
yeah,
So
'cause Cohen
And that worked out
no,
phenomenally.
the luxury tax
It
is
didn't
going to
regulate
kick him in
it doesn't
the
matter. He doesn't
Yeah.
care. Steve Cohen said he's willing to go well over 300 million to build
You
a
know what?
team.
I'm telling you, a lot of teams are going to go over. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
This is
They
why.
have to.
This is why you need a salary floor and a salary cap in
okay,
baseball.
that I disagree with.
You know what? Of
Yeah,
course
I
you
don't
say
know
that.
if
'cause
I
Okay,
agree with that
fair.
there.
I
But
think
they
there needs
have
to be a
to-
floor. I don't think that any team should just not do anything.
I agree.
in the off season.
So here comes my beautiful idea that I've had for Major League Baseball is that make Major League Baseball the postseason a March Madness style bracket where every single team gets in, where you have 2 expansion teams to bring it up to 32, and then all 32 teams are in the playoffs,
Timeout.
where one plays 32.
Every team.
Yes, because then this way it incentivizes every single team. Because what we're seeing this
No.
year is that any team can win.
Okay, I'm going to say this about the MLB playoff format. You cannot have 5 days off for the top teams.
Oh, this is.
I
They're
think-
getting 4
I-
days off right now.
I think
Yeah,
that
but that's because they
that's
just play
not because
too
they've
well.
been in a groove. I think that you need to somehow shorten that. I
There's
don't
really
mind
no
the
way.
series at all, but I definitely think both teams shortened. That's not the reason they lost. I'm never going to say
Of
that.
course, yeah.
But I
Because
do
look what the
think
Astros did.
that break did have an effect. But also, the Astros offense was as good.
No. But
They hit like 250 against the Yankees. It's just the Yankees couldn't hit to save their lives. But I'm not trying to say that that's the reason why a team lost or anything like that. But I do think it did have an impact.
I agree, but I also think that because of that, I think we're going to see teams next year be more ready for it and be training the entire time.
That rust versus rest narrative started in 2006 to help justify why JV didn't play well in the playoffs.
Right.
That's it. That's the only reason why. So there's no, I don't think there's a single bad reason for teams not to get as many days off. Like get 5 days off. That's how it works. Deal with it.
Yeah, that's my thought too. It's you have these days off, you have to figure out a way to stay hot.
Your manager will create a plan for you.
Yeah,
to
play games
succeed.
against each other. Like,
If I have to deal with those 5 days of no games for those top seeds, it's worth it because the wild card should always be a 3-game set.
yes.
3-game series. I think that is what makes it so special. You
Yeah.
know what? I love the one game because 2014, that was first playoff game I ever went to, and just the atmosphere in that one game is incredible.
Absolutely.
It's remarkable.
But I think I will admit there does need to be a 3-game
Yes. And it was proven. It really was.
I still like the way that they do it out in Japan, where the home team, the higher seed gets a half game advantage, and they only have to win 1 game versus the visiting team has to win 2. So that way you are greatly benefiting the one team, but then there's always a chance because if the lower seed wins 2, you still get it, right?
I like that. I do like that instead of making it a completely even thing.
But
But to be fair,
It's a little
This
weird.
year was
it's a
good,
disadvantage
too.
enough
This
that the
year was
away
good,
team's
too.
away.
I
Yeah.
do like the playoff format a lot better. And you know what I love?
which,
We got into this last week. No extra base. No extra inning base runner.
Yeah.
Screw California rule. It sucks.
and there doesn't
It
need to be
sucks.
one next year anymore either with all the rule changes they've made. I don't know why they're going to keep it at this.
This is
point.
why Spencer is great for the show. Because he agrees with me on this topic.
I like I said, I don't agree or disagree. I don't really care. I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to see it go. I don't. It doesn't.
I
matter.
played competitive baseball for 9 years, and just the thought of California rule when I was on the mound angered me.
I would just like to have the players vote on it. Honestly, see what the players want.
And I can tell you, most pitchers will say, "Get rid of it. It is stupid because it doesn't even impact their ERA at all." But it's also just how is a pitcher supposed to come in that situation? He goes, "Hey, nobody did my team get that guy on base, but he just gets it." No, that's stupid. Baseball is beautiful just the way it is. Make extra innings the way it is. You know what? That 18-inning game was absolutely incredible.
It was a lot of fun.
And you know what? I will take that
Wow.
every
Yes, it was.
day of the week. And you know what? I'm going to extend this to when I was a
Take it
coach.
every day of the week.
When I coached and I had to deal with California rule, it is ridiculous. Because here's the thing. Any smart coach is going to say, hey, small ball, bunt the guy over to third, sac fly can do it, hard grounder, something. That is just how good coaches will do it. Okay? You have teams like the Dodgers with Dave Roberts know that they have the power that they can just hit it out. And they can hit it to the gap.
You also have to emphasize smart coaches.
We'll get into that later. But
We
I
talked plenty about it.
sincerely think that the idea of an extra innings base runner, California rule, as I know it, is not good for baseball. It just shows that just because a few people whine, they'll get what they want. Quit trying to appease people.
Amen.
I learned
don't
that a
know.
long time ago.
Well-
People aren't always going to like you and what you do. But here's the thing. I think the best thing that can happen for baseball is go back to your original beauty. Do not put that runner on. Because at the end of the day, the game's still going to go as long unless you're incompetent with a runner on second. Let's be honest.
Would you still watch this postseason though? At the run on second, would have changed any of your guys' viewing habits of this postseason?
I mean, I didn't like it, so no, I wouldn't.
So this.
Sorry, say that again.
Would you have not watched the postseason if there was a runner on second?
I would have, but I would be very frustrated.
Oh darn! You're still watching the product.
That's
They're not
true,
going to
But
play.
that's different because I'm a huge baseball fan.
Yeah, but you're trying to get
This isn't
more
something-
people to be
this-
fans.
I was gonna
and
say,
the
to
way
be
do
fair, then
that-
it's gonna win over more fans.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not needed anymore with the pitch clock, the robo
Yeah,
all that stuff.
right.
It's not
This
Exactly.
is the shortest. The average game
I
time
don't
this year is
see
the
it.
shortest it's been in a year.
Yeah, that's gonna
Dude,
go
it
down
was-
a lot.
Yeah,
It
what I'm
was-
saying is it's not needed.
Right.
And I think the competitive aspect of it is just stupid.
Opening
You
weekend.
guys know me, I'm very competitive.
Opening weekend this year was the shortest it was since like 2008.
Wow.
Like it was under 3 hours.
Yeah.
For one of those like. That's why I'm like, there's not really a need for it. I don't think though you want an 18-inning game on a Tuesday night either.
You know
I
what?
don't think anybody does.
I loved it. I loved watching that.
But it was a Saturday, middle of the day.
Right.
Like the
If
atmosphere
that game had
was
started
right.
later, it would have been a
Yeah.
different story.
I still stayed.
You
So would
would've,
I.
but A lot of people
Okay.
win them too.
I want to change the topic because I just got a text from someone who found out that when I was a coach, I got ejected from the game. Would you guys like to hear the story real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was the semifinals of a tournament. I was, coaching alone because the other coach had to take care of his kid. His babysitter canceled, and we're trailing by a run. I have a runner on third, and I go super gutsy. With 12-year-olds, I went with a suicide squeeze. And you know what? It worked. So I knew the kid could get the bunt down. But what happened is the umpire, I can't remember what he said, was that my base runner on third, who was the fastest kid on the team, could not advance on the play.
Why?
And that the run did not count. Mind you, there's one out. And what happens after that is our other kid strikes out on a terrible call. And then this is when I got ejected. It was a close play, bang, bang play at first. I'm on the opposite side of the field coaching third. But my kid hits grounder, soft one down the line. Third baseman comes up, makes a good play, throws it first. The hitter is 2 steps beyond the bag, and he's called out.
Oh.
Mind you, the guy that ran the club that I coached for pulled me away after he said that my runner could not score because I was furious. The fans were cheering me on, like, go get him, go for it. Because I said, there is no way that you can call him back to third on that play. It's a suicide squeeze. There's no reason why he can't advance. And then I told him,
Unless there's a no stolen base from third rule.
it's not stolen base though.
Right. Well, if it was a suicide, then he would have been running when the pitch was thrown.
It's a modified suicide in that case because I knew there was a rule that if he were to try to steal home, he'd get called out. So I said, once the bunt goes down, it's a modified suicide squeeze. But
Well, then it's just a safety squeeze if he goes.
Safety squeeze, same thing. But I almost had him run. I said, but then I realized, I remember before the game, they said, hey, he tries to steal home, we're going to call him out. I said, okay. But I told the umpire, the field umpire, I said, he's not going to run. He's not going to try to steal. He's not going to take off before contact is made with the ball.
Mhm.
He knows that, and still nothing. So after the inning, the fans are worse than me. I go up to the umpire, I get in his face, and I said, I'm a former umpire, and you are a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Then the open umpire comes over and says, what are you saying? I said, same to you, buddy. You're effing terrible.
Oh,
Got tossed right there. And you know what? I don't regret it because first off, that proved to my boss that I can coach by myself, and then I ended up coaching that by myself the rest of the season. But also proved that first off, in the end, I was right, and that I actually cared, and the fans loved it.
Yeah.
We ended up losing the semifinals because of it. Lost 4-3.
ooh.
Heartbreak.
And I tried to appeal it. I tried to appeal it because here's the thing. I told the field umpire he is not stealing. He's not going to go before contact is made with it at all. He didn't run. And even the coach at the end of the game came up to me and said, you're right.
Of course
We
you're
knew we
right.
should have won. And that's what was most frustrating. So
Wow.
yes, I got tossed. But yeah, I don't
Wow.
regret it.
Wasn't in battle with previous history. We didn't know about
In
playing this.
battle. You are a warrior. You've been in battle.
Changes.
You know what?
Come
My
back.
baseball life extends across every asset of it. Broadcasting, playing, umpiring, and coaching. And being a fan.
Yes, and I think we've gotten a story from you from all of the above. At least.
Oh, I can tell you some funny stories from when I was on the umpire.
For another day.
Another day.
None is
Yes.
harrowing though. Missed out.
Hey, I said I'm a player's
you did.
manager. I will fight for my players no matter what.
Congratulations to Devin, who said that he coached an 8U team to a fall ball championship this
Oh,
year.
wow.
Shout out
Oh,
to you.
nice.
We're our most loyal follower.
I won the championships when I was a kid.
I never won anything.
I won
Wow.
championships too.
The only
Wow.
championships I ever won were in basketball. That was it. My baseball
Wow.
teams are always
I
So we
remember
got
that.
Okay,
Played
you
basketball.
won championships. You were not the best player on your team.
oh god no.
Should we let the listeners know about how I cooked you in basketball last year?
That's perfectly fine, yes. I was not playing at my best.
Oh, I made him look
He did.
like a
Looked bad.
kindergartner going up against LeBron.
In my defense, I hadn't really played
It's like
basketball in like 3
Neither had
years
I.
at that point.
And I-
But, yeah.
I was hitting threes in his face.
Well, I'm one of those
Wow.
people that because I don't have any natural talent at basketball and I'm not great at it, I have to play it consistently to keep good. And because I hadn't played it in a while, it was horrendous.
Good. Grammar 101 just called.
Well,
You're out of Cronkite, buddy.
It's over.
But I was hitting threes left and right in his face, and then the game-winning point, I decided to drive on him. He actually did. I'll give him credit. Did a good job closing to where I could just go for a straight layup. Went reverse on him. Reverse layup to win.
dude, how do you remember this?
Because I remember your face right after. You looked at me like this.
I probably would. Yeah, I was gonna say my face probably.
Nakash fell to the floor and was like,
Ah. Yeah, that
But,
was.
yes, I will say this. We have a couple of viewers who keep texting me, and I think this is actually something we need to talk about.
Viewer.
Yes.
Who?
Should be fired.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
completely
over.
agree.
Should have been
I
fired.
don't think
3
he's
years
the
ago.
first guy that should be fired.
Dave
Cashman.
Roberts is number 1.
No,
I don't-
Cashman should be fired first.
Oh, you're talking about the Yankees.
Get rid of Cashman right now. He is going
Sell the
to
team.
screw up.
He needs to sell the
He's
team.
going to screw up the
Steiner
Orioles.
needs to sell the team. That's the first thing.
If they don't sign Judge, we know why. It's because Cashman doesn't want to pay.
I think it's because Steinbrenner.
Cashman isn't the one that doesn't want to pay.
Yeah, that's Steinbrenner.
That's Steinbrenner. That's not. Cashman,
I blame Steinbrenner for all of their
Aaron,
problems.
so the reason why
I
they
don't know if
fired
it's all
Joe
his fault.
Girardi, let's look at this though. Realistically, they fired Joe Girardi because they felt like he wasn't analytically in tune enough
Yeah,
to
that didn't
manage
work.
this team into the 21st century, whatever, right? Well, next thing you know, Aaron Boone for the next 2 years proceeds to manage this team with as little analytical input as possible. Then, out of nowhere, he decides, I'm going to hitchhike it in the exact other direction and go so far up its own system that you end up collapsing because you pull pitchers out too soon. You're putting in batters that you shouldn't be. You're not telling guys to go for the smaller plays. And he just utterly failed at what his mission statement was from the beginning. And that's why he should be fired, is he's not been able to keep what the Yankees were looking for and what he said he wanted to be.
I also think part of it too is you've got to look at their roster. Their roster is not great. I mean, Josh Donaldson's their starting third
let me
baseman.
explain
Isaiah
something
Kiner
about
Falefa
that.
is their
I
shortstop.
think Cashman needs to be fired for the move that he made the moves he made to go get IKF
Yeah,
and Donaldson. First off,
I mean, not that
I thought
Urshela
that
and
Donaldson trade was terrible. I
Of
think you
course.
want to get rid of Gary
was
Sanchez,
awful.
but Gio Urshela is better than Josh Donaldson.
yes,
You want to fight on it? I'll do the grade on this. He's a better fielder. Honestly, he's a more consistent hitter. If you watch
Absolutely.
Josh Donaldson hitting against the Astros, it's like he was chopping at it in a sword.
he was horrible.
Dude.
Remember the line from the Benchwarmers? It's not a sword. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that's what the Yankees were yelling at him during the game.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
completely agree. See,
I think my
faucet.
big thing though is that
They
in
won't start
Cashman's
coming
defense,
out.
it wasn't like a known thing this year. Like it was a gamble. Like he took a gamble and it didn't work to some degree. I don't know why they got rid of Joey Gallo. I mean,
Well,
it's good for his mental
their
health.
record
He
with
sucked.
Joey Gallo, 70-34.
Yeah, they did a
Their
lot
record
better
without
without
him, 32-35.
Yeah.
It's really hilarious because the
Wait, no, 32-33.
I don't know, but either way, the threat's still there.
It's
You know,
like- it's
having
like when
Joey
you're
Gallo's a
swimming-
threat.
Yeah, it's like when you're fixing your watch and there's this one little gear, you don't know what it does, and you take it out and the whole thing
Right.
breaks.
Yep. Exactly. That's true. And I mean, it to me, the Yankees' entire organization's just it's time. They need to just clean house. You need a new owner, new general manager, new everything.
There's
Because
a lot
I
of
don't.
teams that
It's
do
hard to say
yes,
that.
but the Yankees can do
You're
it. The
saying
Yankees
this
would
though
sell
on
for
a
so much money
99 win team.
I
because
don't know.
they should have been so much.
I don't
better.
know. I'm curious as to this.
The roster should have been. Is that it's just?
I can't. I don't. I just.
Well, so the thing
The
for me is
Yankees.
that
I don't think if they don't make the playoffs next year, then you fire Cashman, right? Like I. You
Okay,
don't win
but the problem
99
is-
games on accident.
this is a team
You
that
don't.
should be winning the World Series every single year, and this is also the same guy that brought
Let me
in
explain why
Jacoby
they- why
Ellsbury.
they
Is
should
it?
not. One, they run into the same problem every year, and I think it's because they haven't addressed it. So many injuries.
Yes.
I think a huge issue especially against the Astros, but also
Even
against
at that, they
Cleveland,
were pretty.
was that their bullpen
Well,
was really
the
good.
Astros are good.
They also did not have DJ LeMahieu, which I think does
That's huge.
complicate a few things. Because here's the thing: in the playoffs, I am always going to pick putting DJ LeMahieu at third over Josh Donaldson.
Oh yeah, every day.
And
They
you know,
should.
I would
good
put it
friend of
over.
ours,
most
Taylor
people.
Olson, and I talked about this morning. People are going to try to say that Stanton's the problem. Stanton's the most
No.
consistent hitter on that team. Here's the thing: you can blame Judge more than Stanton because Judge was terrible. in the playoffs.
No, in the
Judge
playoffs.
was
In the
terrible.
playoffs.
He was terrible in the playoffs, but you can't like just go blaming.
No, yeah, it happens.
Oh, I'm not saying blame either of them, but if you want to put blame on one of your superstars like that, I think if you look at that series alone, you put more blame on Judge. As a fan, I'm not blaming either of them because Judge had a historic season. Stan was the most consistent hitter. If I'm blaming anybody, I'm blaming Aaron Boone.
No, the shortstop that screwed up that toss over to second in that last game that actually did them in.
Well, it was actually Glaber that made the error from second. He was the one that flipped it in the left field that allowed the run to score. But to me, it starts from the top.
I watched the playback over, and the angle.
Yeah, they both
IKF
made mistakes.
The angle that IKF took was way too wide, where he got the inside part of the base.
Yeah,
and I think that is what really screwed it.
Mm-hmm.
If he would just taken the back part of the base and propelled himself on the throw,
yeah,
the double play is made.
Yes,
like that was handed to him on a silver platter.
It was. That was the way out of it. And this team's whole dynamic from the beginning, kind of from the jump, it was win a lot or bust. I just think by its mold, because you had all these like veteran guys that are super good, right? Or you had these like young busts.
Yeah.
That maybe they'll flash something here or there and they'll carry you when they need to.
It was a lot of luck, honestly, that they won 99 games to me. They got really lucky that Judge had the season he had.
Honestly,
I don't believe in luck.
They should have won more, dude.
They could have.
They should have.
But they also could have won 80 games.
Yeah, should have.
Look at the way that they played at the end of the season. This is a team that played like an 80 games, an 80 win.
Taylor Swift fan out here.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
That's hilarious.
No,
it's part of the
this
3 a.m.
is
edition
still
of Midnight.
good. This is a good team.
I don't know. See, to me, like I said, it comes from the top. I mean, the fact that Aaron Hicks is even still on this roster is a problem. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa should never be the starting shortstop for the Yankees. Josh Donaldson should never be on the Yankees. Anthony Rizzo's good, but to
Rizzo fits that mold really well.
He does.
For Freeman, it was always between the Dodgers and the Braves.
I know, but they at least if they had tossed the money out there.
Dodgers, Braves, and Toronto.
Glaber Torres should have been off the team a long time ago. Their catcher's position's horrible. I mean, he's
a good fielder.
Yeah, he's a good fielder.
And you know what?
That doesn't matter. Tomas Nito's a good fielder.
Okay. What has given the Astros an advantage? They have a great catcher behind the plate.
Veteran in the playoffs. That to me, that's
Maldonado is a fantastic fielder. I am willing to put Jose Trevino in the 7 or 8 spot, hitting like 230 and having Gold Glove defense. I will take that any day of the week.
I would rather have the offense, but that's just me.
That's where I disagree with a lot of people because I value defense very heavily.
Now, we also need to start molding catchers at younger ages to be able to do both. A guy like JT Realmuto, that's the kind of guy, or Dalton Varsho. Those are the kind of people that are going to be the future of catchers. Buster Posey. Salvi's not.
That man throws out 41% of career.
I know, but he still has 37-year-old legs. It's
35.
Exactly. It's a lot of
man legs. Oh, I can't wait to wear that when we start acting like we're young. Pretend we're young.
Hold on, Spencer, I just realized your shirt.
I know, yeah.
That's really a great shirt, isn't it?
Hold on.
You need
Let's
to
read
show,
it out loud.
you need to show the camera.
No, we're going to read it out loud.
Well, I want them to see the camera. You need to tilt your.
I'm not going to tilt it because I don't want them to see anything they don't want to see. So I got to tilt up towards my shirt.
Okay.
I don't need them to see my cutoffs, man. Jeez, just let me.
I think Patrick Mahomes does know what that's like.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
It's kind of crazy.
A couple times. But yeah, so well, to me, it just starts from the top for the Yankees. That's all it is. And if the Yankees had a different front office, they would be a completely different ball club.
That is true.
They should have built the team around.
I can agree with you on that.
They should have built the team around Aaron Judge, and they should have gotten rid of everyone else a long time.
Should they have though?
Yes.
Nobody had in this group had them like we would casually mention him as like he could be in the top 10, but nobody this year was. Like,
I know, but out of
Judge,
everyone else on that
player.
team, he was still the best player.
Judge?
We all knew that Judge had the biggest potential out of everyone there.
Also,
he just couldn't stay
There's
healthy.
a lot of surprise with this team this year. It's
also,
pretty
there's
impressive
a
they went
few
this
things
far.
that we have to look at. I think that for the Yankees, they need to dump salary quick. Get rid of Donaldson quick. I also think you need to pick up Severino's $15 million option.
Oh yeah, they will.
So that's my opinion on that. But I think they need to dump some salary, get rid of Donaldson quick. I think that's key because you have to sign Aaron Judge. You have to. You have to sign your best
or
player.
everybody else.
Right. No, you're completely right. I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying I'm getting covered.
I'm saying you're wrong,
Getting
Ryan.
covered in
You're just
water.
wrong. No,
I'm getting absolutely soaked by my water bottle. This thing is lost.
that
It's
happened
like,
to me earlier today.
but I don't know. I can't. The Yankees have made so many mistakes over the years that this team is just since 2009 they have had so many chances to get there and they just don't. They
What do you
have
expect?
the team. I mean,
It's really
they're
hard
the
to get
Yankees.
there.
They should be winning every single year.
They
That's-
are
Hold
winning
on,
every
hold on,
single year.
Hold on, Spencer,
But they're not.
say that again. What you said before that.
What did I say before that? I have really good ideas, but I'm not thinking. It's very true.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Why?
I'm starting to think it's coming out of here because I peeled the
It's
glue.
all right.
Can
The
you focus-
STFC
can
and
you
No, I don't know what's wrong with my water bottle.
Can you focus on that after? We're trying to have an enticing show.
I have to get a new water bottle now.
I'm sorry. You know what? You will survive. I promise you, you will survive.
What am I going to use in the gym now?
But Spencer, you said it is hard to win it.
It's hard to win it.
It's so hard.
Of course it is, but they haven't
It's
gotten there.
impossible. I feel like I watched Moneyball and read the book Moneyball and came away with it. Yes,
I'm wearing a shirt.
I came away from it very differently than I think everyone else did.
I haven't
In
seen
that
Moneyball in such a long time.
you have to appreciate the
Um,
fact.
I'm the guy who has "How can you not be romantic about baseball?" as my tagline.
Yeah, you know what? Like,
Thank you.
everybody
It's
has
just-
that. That's not your tagline.
It's like the Phillies got there this year. There's no reason for that. They of all teams are arguably maybe the least deserving.
Absolutely, they were.
of the
they're
six,
the-
but even it doesn't matter
they're
because
the
it's the
12th.
playoffs and crazy things happen.
Right.
And the road was paved and they made their way. Right. And the Yankees,
But-
you're not going to win every time.
but
There's some teams that have never won.
there's something that
true.
needs to be said about the fact that since 2019, other than 2020, which we know we don't count, 2019
Okay, no,
and
not-
2021.
Don't put we in that comment, in that entire thing. Okay? 2020 is just different. It's
Exactly.
not that it doesn't
Well, you
count.
don't.
I'm
you
saying it
don't-
doesn't count in this.
You still count like
aspect.
1981 when they did all the weird. That was another strike year. That was a strike year when the league
You
was
got it?
shortened and the playoffs were down. Like
It needs to be a full season.
I'm sorry, that's stupid.
and the World Series winners that year don't count.
Correct. So
You see, I guarantee you, if the Mets would have won the World Series that year, they'll go, no, it counts. It counts. It counts.
no, I would have acknowledged that it's not the same. But either way, what I'm
Well,
saying is
not saying
there's
that's not the
something that-
same, but I'm saying that
I think it was
it
79.
still counts.
there's something that needs to be said that for the last two full season World Series, it's been the Nationals and the Braves, both teams entering the playoffs that were the least likely team to win the World Series. And this year, the Phillies were the least likely team, and they are 4 wins away from doing the same thing. There's something that needs to
Let me
be
say
said
something.
Let's
about.
see this-
Braves
Hey, let's take
was
this
Yes,
all
they
the way
were.
back.
Wow.
I remember.
Now
I
you're
vividly
speaking my
remember.
language.
They won their
2014,
division.
were
Right.
the Royals supposed to do what they
No.
did 8 straight games and go? You're trying to say that just because teams are having the top record or they have all the money and the best
No,
players,
what I'm
doesn't mean they're gonna win.
That's what I'm saying
So
is
the Yankees could do everything, spend all this money, hire all these new people, change, and they might lose more games this year than last year. It's
and that may actually end up being better for them as we see this is with the
that's
way
better
the
than
playoffs
not.
have been going.
There's what? How is losing better than winning?
Okay, but something we've seen recently though is that the best team doesn't win the World Series anymore. But why? But
Ever?
why is that?
Arguably ever. There was one year the best team
Recently.
didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. It rarely happens. Well, okay.
You're in disagreement.
No, the Cincinnati Reds had the best record in 1979, and because of the way the playoff format was set up, they didn't make the playoffs.
That's
Because they had they split up it was the first half of the season, whoever had the best records that part would go to the playoffs, and then the second half of the season, the best record would go on to play in the playoffs.
that's
And the Reds had the second best record in each of them, but combined they had the best record by far. That's a baseball season for you.
that's
That
a
you
that's
thought
a
was
bar
legitimate
fact.
until I told you about
that's
that.
a bar fact right there.
Okay,
That I didn't know.
That's where I spent a lot of time.
Michael, we have disagreed about 2020 for a long time, but I want to look at something from 2020.
Go ahead.
2020 is really the anomaly of recent years.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
the best team won the World Series.
And 2018 too.
And
Because we all know that the Red Sox were incredible. That was just the
Yeah.
destiny.
Yes, but
2017, the
Let me
Astros were the
say
best team in 2017.
No, the Dodgers were.
it
Really?
this way.
Well, the
Let's go
Dodgers were
ahead.
the
Actually,
best
the
team
Cubs-
than
Let's
every
go
year.
ahead. Let's go ahead and look at football. Football, the NFL is very top heavy.
Yes.
Baseball
So is the NBA.
is
Whoa.
in NBA. Baseball is top heavy in the regular season.
Right now.
The best thing about the postseason is that, oh, you had 111 wins, cool. The thing is about baseball, it's a longer season than any other sport. So whoever's grittier, whoever's more well conditioned, is going to win. It's not always about who's the best team, because you can be the best team in baseball in Dodgers were this year, but if you're not hungry, if you're not prepared, if you're not gritty enough, like they weren't against
Like
San
that
Diego,
mascot, bro.
then they are not going to win. That's what I love about baseball is that it is mentally tougher than any of those than basketball and football.
Every other sport.
Golf. Golf is very mentally draining. I will say that. It's one of the most mentally draining sports because it is such a longer season and you are consistently out traveling. It's unlike any other. It's not like we're going and playing 82 baseball games every year.
You just told me that golf is
No,
What
hold
is
on.
more
it, Brian?
difficult.
What
No,
is
I
it?
did not
Just
say-
baseball season?
I swear.
Look at your
Stop.
screen.
Stop.
It's gritty. We have a video
Get out of
component. We gotta.
But no,
You-
have you? You've never played golf, have you?
Yes, I have.
You've never played golf, have you?
No.
There was a different emphasis.
Yes.
You've never golfed.
I have golfed, but I've never.
When was the last time you golfed?
2019. Ironically enough, I'm actually going next Tuesday.
With who?
Some of my work friends.
Thanks for the info. I'm kidding.
Work friends.
But
That's good.
golf is one of the most
Big difference.
mentally draining sports
Just like
because
baseball.
of the margin of error. The margin of error is so slim in golf. You can hit it 2 feet off the fairway, and you can be in the thickest rough of your life, and then you have to take 2 shots to get the bird.
This is rounding the greens here.
Yeah, why? What?
On
What?
Blaze
no,
Radio.
no,
Ryan
you're trying to say that golf is nowhere close to mentally draining as baseball. They both are. Those are the two most mentally draining sports out there.
I'd like to say that I didn't realize all my bottled up ADHD would be released into this
It really,
episode
really
of the
does come
show.
out. I tell you,
So,
when you're sitting here doing nothing but talking, your ADHD just zooms. I promise.
okay,
What?
Exactly.
I'm going to say something that takes us over to the NL side.
Which we already have slightly been on.
Phillies are winning the World Series.
Are they?
Okay, well, that's the title of the
Phillies
show
are
is World
winning.
Series predictions. So
So,
can we please?
Phillies are winning the World Series. And let me tell you why. They are the hottest team. I have
Are
never
they?
seen a team
Yes.
that can consistently battle back like the 2015 Wolves.
They-
I don't mean to say that to get at you, but they
no, you're
remind
right.
me
No, you're 100%
because they have
right.
the clutch hits. What Harper did yesterday.
Well, actually, the 22. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, I'm just going by personal experience
Okay,
here.
that's fine.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Let me have my moment.
I know.
But
I
been
haven't.
consistently able to battle back, getting the clutch hits. What Harper did yesterday, goosebumps for everybody,
Yes.
even Padres fans. And I'm sad for the Padres because I thought the Padres were going to win that series. There's one thing about the Phillies that is looking really scary right now. The bullpen is showing up.
Yeah.
And
Took
I
them
would never
170
think
games.
that. I would never think that.
Me neither. That was the one reason why I keep having him last in my power rankings every round. Every single round I've done power rankings. The Phillies have been at the bottom of the list every single time.
Wheeler is dealing. Romo is dealing. Excuse me. Syndergaard is a good three-piece.
And he has playoff experience.
Suarez is also there, who's a solid arm to come out of the bullpen, even a Game 4 starter. I think that if you were looking at this Phillies team and you would have told me the bullpen would be able to do what they did against San Diego,
Yeah.
and the hitting is also there, like what they did to the Braves, and even throughout the series against the Padres. This is a team that is clicking on every single cylinder. And you know what? The defense has also been pretty good.
Yeah,
It's been pretty good.
surprisingly, even though they still have, I think, the second worst ERS.
Oh, TRS, whatever.
Devin Hunt, the bold statement: Schwarber goes nuclear in the World Series, and I don't disagree with that. He has
Happened
started.
before.
He has started getting hot.
Schwarber.
He has started getting hot, and when when Kyle Schwarber gets hot, dear God, that man doesn't
You know
stop
what?
hitting home
You remind
runs.
me of somebody that I do need to shout out as well.
Oh.
I was
It isn't.
Ray Belcora. He sits with us in the conference room.
Yeah,
Shout
where
out to
was
you,
he
Ray.
today, by the way?
I hope you got back safely to Arizona. He was out of town at
Right.
Stanford ASU game this week.
Oh,
But-
with Dom. So are you doing your show after this?
He and I were talking, and he mentioned how
Okay, so
Phillies
it's
get
me.
deep into the playoffs and they beat the Padres. They've got so many guys on that offense that can make a difference. And one guy that's been quiet was Schwarber.
Yep.
And he mentioned at any point Schwarber can get going, and he's 100% correct.
Mhm.
So shout out to you, Ray. And that's why I think the Phillies are more dangerous offensively than the Astros.
Yeah, no,
They have
no,
Listen,
they are.
Harper-
They are.
Hoskins, who's been nuclear,
Mhm.
Castellanos,
Yeah.
Schwarber,
Real Muto.
Real Muto, Alec Bohm, even.
And Bryson Stott's been looking real good, too.
All those guys can be that guy for a game. When you look at the Astros, you're looking at a couple key guys.
Bregman.
Jordan, Bregman, Altuve, and maybe Tucker.
Jeremy Pena's
maybe
been
Pena.
showing up.
Pena,
That's
the,
it.
the MVP.
Yeah, he did win the MVP. We have
He
to
did. He did. And I'll give Pena credit. He was fantastic in the series. But consistently, they're looking at 3 guys. Phillies can consistently look to 5 or 6 guys that can be that guy.
I've
don't
been
know.
saying it since the postseason began.
Also, game 1, when Verlander pitches, I think will dictate this entire series.
Yes. Okay. So,
Sorry, Michael.
I said it entering the season that while yes, I had the Phillies last, out of every single team in the playoffs, how they were playing, the Phillies had the greatest potential to improve because we all knew what the Phillies could do if Harper got hot, Real Muto got hot, Schwarber got hot, if Castellanos played like he should, and if Hoskins played the way he should, if Nola stayed hot, if Wheeler got hot and stayed hot, if Syndergaard can pitch well, and if their bullpen can pitch well. So far, all of those things have happened, and that is why they're in the World Series right now. And if those things continue, I'm officially saying that the Phillies are going to win the World Series. It is. I've debated it all day, and here I am. And everyone knows I'm very, very, very.
Anti-Braves.
No. I'm really. I value my World Series predictions so much because I put a lot of thought into them. And the last couple of years, I've actually been right a couple times because 2019 I predicted the World Series exactly. I said it's going to be Nats in 7 and Strasburg wins the MVP, and it happened. So I take a lot of pride.
There was this guy on Twitter in 2019. He put out the next 10 World Series winners.
So Kayla,
No,
Yeah, but this guy,
No.
this
This guy-
guy's 2-0.
it's 2-0.
is he? Wow,
He
Yeah.
said Dodgers 2020, 2021 Braves. Who did he put for 2022?
Phillies.
He put the Phillies.
Wow,
This guy.
Then next year he had the Mariners, and then I think
Aw.
in 2024 he had the Padres.
where are the
Yep.
Mets?
The Mets didn't,
Never.
never did.
The
Well,
Well,
Orioles
that
win
was, to
one.
be fair, that was before the Mets had any ownership. So
The Orioles win one before.
that wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't. That would not be shocking. But yeah, so I'm going. I need to figure out time. I
Also-
need the rest of the show to figure my MVP, but I'm going Phillies in 5.
Also, Astros offense has
5?
not been that good. They've been able to do enough. To be quite honest, I said this on my other radio show. Their series against Seattle was the closest sweep ever. Seattle could have swept them because they were right there in each game.
But they
The
did.
Astros offense hasn't been that great. They're earning sub 250 on the entire playoffs. Phillies offense going against great pitching, especially against the Padres, they're still killing the ball. I think that this Phillies team is going to win it all. And I'm going to take them in 6.
That makes more sense.
I don't think
Okay,
they win 5. I think they win in 6.
Here's my reasoning. The Phillies, to me, are going to win every single game at home. If they win one game in Houston, they win the series in 5 games because they've won every game at home so far, and they have proven that they cannot lose at home. They have beaten the Braves and the Padres, 2 really good teams, and just slaughtered them at home.
So what's more likely then, that the Astros do the complete sweep, or that the Phillies win every game of this postseason? What's more likely?
I would say it's actually more likely that the Phillies, honestly, than the
Really?
Astros sweeping. Yeah, because
That would require Houston
You know what?
to win
Honestly, I
2-1.
honestly agree with that statement. I think it's more likely. I don't think
Because-
the Astros take 2 games in Philly.
the way
I
the
really
Phillies playoff is going, they're actually at an advantage with the fact that they are the lower seed because they are playing games 3, 4, and 5, which are really the most important games of the series. Because if you then win one of those first 2 games, you get to have the chance to win all three at home and win the series. And that's what they've done both times. They have won one of the first two and then won every game at home. And that is the only reason why they are where they are. They have not even needed to go and travel after they've been home. They get home with one win and they know they have locked it up. And that is really, really important.
Well, I'm gonna have to grease up the light poles in Philly.
They will.
Exciting stuff.
I think that this Phillies team is a complete underdog story, and I love it. I do.
Oh, it's great for Harper, man.
Harper deserves a ring.
Harper's awesome, dude.
You know what? People hate Bryce Harper, and you know what? I get it. Attitude,
No,
cockiness, I get
I
it.
don't get it.
You know what? To each their own. Is how I look at that. He is a top 10 player in baseball. He is so good, and he's been doing this while battling multiple injuries this year. He has been so good, and he won MVP last year.
Yeah,
he deserves the ring, and I think he's going to get that ring.
Hopefully.
So my official.
I want Dusty Baker to win too.
So what's your prediction?
I like Dusty, but I can't see the Astros win.
I couldn't care less who wins, honestly.
I mean, I'm gonna take Houston. I have a hard time not seeing. I think everything. I just think I look at the competition. I think the Yankees are better than the Padres. I think Houston had a tougher time.
I disagree with
New
that.
York, and they handled them a bit better.
I disagree with that.
Time out.
I feel like the pitching staff's pretty even in all reality. Yu Darvish in the postseason's not that guy.
The Yankees pitching staff is a little better.
Whoa,
That's what
no.
I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at.
It is.
I would take the
Houston's
Padres
strat-
bullpen any day of the week.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
saying
But their starting
starter-wise,
rotation's
though,
not even close.
Because if that's what Houston's
Musgrove?
gonna have to beat is
Dog.
Garrett Cole,
Okay.
Snell,
Snell had a great end of the year.
Nestor Cortez.
see
closer
this is
than
what
you
and that if they
Okay,
beat them though.
put
because-
Darvish against Cole and Musgrove against Nestor. I'm taking Musgrove over
I think-
Nestor.
To
I'm
your guys'
not.
point, to your guys' point,
Oh
if the Phillies
Oh!
keep it to 5 games, 4 games,
no, Garaffa, no.
I think then they will win. I
Yeah.
think they have the chance that if they sprint out, if the starters really bang each
I
of
think
them
they will.
out, then yeah. But if Houston keeps doing what they've done all year, which is attack in the early innings and then play downhill until they needed to get one big hit later on, I think Houston's going to take it. And I think it might take a few more games. But even then, maybe it won't. Maybe Houston will win it out in Philly. And the
I don't think
protest
they will.
would be even
I don't
better
think
than
they
the
will.
celebration.
I
Oh
don't
man.
think they will.
I just want Philly. I just want people standing like I want people standing on top of gyms and just waving hoagie flags and
Sure.
just I want people in makeshift gritty costumes just
That.
go. That's what
I have
that's what I
nothing to
don't
say.
want. I want them to win, man.
I know.
The way
I know.
the way that man says the World Series is like the way any quarterback says World Series or Disney World. Man, he's such a cool guy.
I agree, but
There's nobody. He's like out of everybody to root for this postseason. He is like the easiest one.
yes. But
Easy.
I mean, it's just my gut instinct is telling me that the Phillies just aren't stopped. I
I don't
Something
think that
tells
much
me-
of a steam train.
I agree. They're not,
Piggyback off
but
of
they've
you,
got they've
Garaffa.
just got it all going. They just can't slow down.
Garaffa, I'm going to piggyback off of you on what you just said.
Mhm.
You've got a gut feeling that the Phillies are not going to be stopped. I agree. And as a bigger gentleman, I have a big gut, and my gut does not lie. So Phillies win the World Series.
So
That's fair.
I'm
Why do
a.
I know somebody's going to click this and just put it on Twitter?
I know I'm a Chris
Please
Paul
don't.
type. I am 6 foot, weigh 175. And you know what? For that reason, I'm going Houston Astros. And I think they'll win it in 5, man. I do
I
not
don't
see
think that's happening.
if Houston wins the
We
first 2
don't
games,
know.
it's
We really
over.
I
Houston wins
wouldn't
the
say
first
that though,
two,
because the
it's
Phillies win the next
Time out,
3,
time
then
out.
you never know.
It's over. No, because
I-
then Houston can get the losing out of their system. That gravity can fall on them for a few games, and they'll still be comfortably ahead.
I don't
And then
know.
they'll take the next 2 because then they'll get their guys back and they'll be fine.
I don't think the Astros will win both games.
I don't
That's
either.
just wishful thinking because I still want the Royals to at least have a share of the record.
I know. I get it.
also
But no,
think that
you're right.
offense will get to one of those 2 nights, whether it's Valdez or Javier after.
You
You don't think they're not going to get? You don't think Zach Wheeler's not?
You
gonna
really
get
have to
lit
hand it
up?
off to the next
Zach
shot at some point.
Wheeler's been on a tear.
They've
Aaron
both,
Also,
Nola,
did you say
I
we have to hand
just-
it off to the next show?
yes, which is your
Yep.
show. But Dom is
But Dommy
sitting
boy-
out there waiting. Poor Dominic Stern, who was the Padres fan, who did lose.
Oh.
But I mean,
You know, he
I
has so
said
much
1
to be
week
happy
ago
about. What are you
today-
talking
He's
Of course.
Bucky's
7 days ago today on this show, I turned to Dom Stern, who was standing in the exact same spots that the Padres are winning the World Series.
You know what?
And I'm
That's
really
why-
sorry for that if I jinxed you.
And you know
but-
what? That's why people don't.
I felt very confident. I really did.
You know, I
But the
thought
Phillies just can't
Padres were
stop.
going to do it too. It's okay.
Yeah, they can't be stopped. All right, so that's gonna do it for this week. We are taking a week off next week.
Why?
It's Halloween.
Oh yeah, it is Halloween.
It is
Sorry.
Halloween.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We will be back the week after. So make sure you are here in 2
We'll
weeks.
have a World Series winner.
We will have a
We
World
will.
Series winner by then.
We will.
So take it all in. Enjoy the end of the baseball season. The next time we're back, it will be the off season,
the-
and we
the
cannot
fun
wait.
comes in when I get to mess with you during the
Oh
offseason.
yeah, I love the off season content, which will also make it technically season 7. But I'm probably just going to leave it at season 6 since there's only 8 episodes. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you all in the next one.